Hi, welcome. Very good afternoon to all our participants. Okay, thank you very much for spending the time to join us in this virtual event with the ISE. Okay, so we are waiting for participants to stream in, so we'll start very shortly. Okay, so just hold on for a while. Hi, can people hear me?
Yes, sir. Now we can hear you. Yeah.
Can hear.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you for the so-called the feedback, right? So along the way, if any point in time, right, if you cannot hear us or if you suddenly freeze on the screen, right, just unmute yourself, let us know. Okay, otherwise, yeah, it will be quite embarrassing, right? That we just carry on talking. Okay, yeah. So not to worry. Okay, today's virtual event, it will be more laid back, quite chill. We're just here to give informal sharing about our this department and program, okay, and student life, right? So yeah, we have quite a number of these student participants and helpers today. Okay, yeah. So later I'll introduce some of them. Yeah. In the background will be this Jonathan, this Chun Ping, right? So he will be also helping to moderate or facilitate, right, the waiting room and all that. Yeah. So Jonathan, we can do the recording, right, in a while for the session. Jonathan.
Hello.
Yeah, we can do the recording for the session, right? So we are just the recording for our own our department. Okay.
No problem.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So we are also streaming this live on our this department's Facebook page. Okay. So if you have like friends and all that who for some reason have not registered and they have access to Facebook, yeah, ask them to come in, right? Join us and in this session. Okay. Right. So yeah. Okay, thanks, Jonathan. Okay, so we have about 30 folks here, right? We'll start off, okay, in order not to delay everybody's time. Okay. Okay, everybody, welcome. Okay, so what's up with everybody? What's up with ISE? But maybe you're asking like, okay, what's up with these people over here, right? In this picture that we use for this event. Who are these people? Okay, so this is very interesting. Obviously, they are these ISE students. They are our alumni. Okay, our BN students in the past, and this is very special because they are in fact our inaugural batch, the first batch of our BN students. Okay, that graduated long ago, right? So this picture, guess when it was taken? Okay, it's about 2003 to 2004. Okay, close to 20 years, right? We have been around for quite a while, right? So time really flies very fast. Okay, so let me begin with some of the agenda. Hey, Juha, come, let's move along. Okay, thank you, Juha. Right, so the outline of today's sharing will be as follows. First, I will just give a very quick intro of the department and the program. My name is Adam. I'm an associate professor with the department. I'm in charge of outreach. Okay, but today's so-called spotlight is really on our student population. Okay, not me, right? I've already said quite a lot during our e-open house over on Sunday. So I hope some of you had the chance to catch that. Okay, so after that, we will have this IC Club ESCO, right, to come on board to share with you guys some of the activities, projects, initiatives that they are hosting and they are planning, okay, to enrich our this IC student life. Okay, right, and then following that, Raja will share about his perspective as a junior student in our this cohort. And then next, we have the senior student sharing by Ziyi. Okay, so he will be able to impart some of the wisdom and experience and maybe some of the hacks, okay, in your so-called the upcoming undergraduate life. Okay, and then after that, we want to actually take the chance to show you all more specific kind of like a content on the projects, right? So Hans will be sharing with us about the system design project that he is working on, right? So it's a work in process, okay, work in progress. That means it's really, straight for the oven, and then we present to you, what they have been up to in this industrial project, okay? And then finally, Cindy will share on another project, more of a research project on the independent study module, okay? And then you have a sense of the type of skill sets, capabilities, and the type of problems that we love to solve in the department, right? And then along the way, if you have any like comments or inquiries or clarifications to make, just feel free to use the chat. Okay, so we have these moderators. Other than Jonathan, we also have Ying Ying, okay, our IC club president, okay, to kind of like help you guys or point you to the resources for the information. Okay, and then if right at the end we still have some bandwidth and time, right, so we can always curate some of these questions to be answered live, or you can just come on board, unmute yourself, and then share with us about some of your inputs too. Okay, so let's begin with my part. Yeah, I'm conscious of time, right? First introduce, right? We hail from the Department of Industrial Systems Engineering and Management. Quite a mouthful. Okay, so we to date we have close to 7,000 alumni. Okay, and currently we have in the student cohorts around 1,000 over students. But these students are actually consist of all different programs. Okay, ranging from the Bachelor of Engineering to Master of Sciences to PhD. Okay, so we have a wide suite of programs. Okay, we have a team of very passionate and capable faculty members. These the professors and the teaching staff, right? And then also supported by a capable crew of like a research support and admin support staff. Okay, so it's about the department, right? I want to share a bit about like where we came from, right? So this is a very busy slide, but not to worry, this is not a history lesson. I just want to take the chance to kind of highlight some of the key milestones, okay? Right, so in fact, last year, 2022, our department celebrated a 50 years anniversary. That means we turned 50 years old, 50, okay? Right, and that means we have been around for quite a while, okay? Quite a while. So if you just take a look at this, right, no need to bother about details, but essentially we were formed in 1972 officially with 4 professors. So it's pretty much like an interest group, but it was also motivated by at that time because Singapore is undergoing rapid economic development, industrialization, okay? Right, so the government saw a need to groom so-called the postgraduate engineers, okay? That means after the graduate degree, right? Can they go for the further education in Singapore? And in fact, in 1966, we are the first engineering program and department to launch the Master of Science program. That means the first MSc engineering program ever in Singapore. That's the systems engineering. Okay, and we have a lot of very reputable and notable alumni that come out from this program, including some of the members of parliament and even ministers. Okay, right. So yeah, that is the foundation of where we came from. And then if you skip all the way to the 2001, okay, 2001, that is where I told you, right? Those people in the picture, Okay, they were our first batch of ISC students, 40 of them. Okay, so that is where we begin our ISC, this is a Bachelor of Engineering program. Okay, until of course today, right, we have more than close to 7,000 alumni. Okay, so anyway, the main gist of this slide, or the moral of the story that I'm trying to kind of let you know, is that we have been around for quite a while doing things that we are very good at. That is the industrial and systems engineering. So if you're choosing a program, we are legit. Okay, we are legit, not to worry. Okay, we are not those like a program that just kind of puts together something hodgy-podgy or flavor of the month or something trending. Okay, we have been doing this and contributing, okay, not just to education, but to research, to you know, to the economy of Singapore for several decades now. Okay, so credibility is important. Okay, great. Come, Chu Ha, let's move on. Right, so I think this is a big picture, right, framework about the ISC concept. Okay, the picture is very big indeed, right? But essentially, what we see on the top here are the various application domains that these ISC people are passionately contributing to. Of course, not limited to these. These are some of the example areas. Okay, so for example, like the first one, okay, container port operations, right? So we don't build the bunker ships and all that, but we talk about the operations. For example, like, do you know, like, how do you place the containers and sequence of, you know, load and unload the containers from the vessel to the yard and the yard to the vessel, right? It makes a lot of difference to the throughput of the port. And this is where, you know, ISC people are very good in, okay? And then the next one on the transportation and logistics, right? As you know, the online retailing is very, very important, and now it's a part of our everyday lives. Okay, first mile delivery, last mile delivery, these type of problems become very, very important, especially for these third-party logistics providers. They really want to know in real time, you know, how do they schedule their fleet of vehicles, where to site their mobile warehouses, etc., to improve service performance, you know, to reduce the bottom line. Okay, and this is where we also contribute a lot. Third one is manufacturing. Okay, manufacturing production is this area where we have contributed for many, many years. Okay, to improve the production processes, streamline their production lines and efficiencies, to tackle very complicated shop floors like wafer fabs. Okay, so especially in this era of like Internet of Things, digital twin technologies, etc., we continue to make a lot of contribution. The next one, finance sector. Okay, finance sector is something that also absorb a lot of these ISC graduates. In fact, okay, for their skills in quantitative modeling, risk analytics, data science. Okay, so they make a lot of contributions in trying to figure out like investment portfolios. Okay, for companies, for firms, etc. Right. Finally, is service systems. Okay, service systems. Right, for the good of the public, for example, like healthcare services, right? We know that healthcare services is supremely important, especially in this pandemic period. Okay, hospital resources like doctors, beds, OTs, nurses, all these need to be very carefully balanced and rostered, okay, in order for the healthcare system to deliver the top quality patient care. Okay, so if you look across all these problems, right? Sorry, Chu Ha, maybe go to the back. Yeah, I still got something to say. So if you look across these various application domains, right, they may look like very diverse and different, but there are some similar characteristics also, right? So if you notice, they are very dynamic. Things keep changing over time and approaching real time. Okay, there's a lot of uncertainty, randomness, variability in this system. There can be potentially exponential, large number of configurations that you cannot eyeball out which one is better and all that. Okay, and then finally, although there's a lot of these issues, there's also a lot of data. Okay, a lot of data for us to learn about, you know, some of the issues and to provide the decision support. Okay, so these common traits are very important because it is about our curriculum, our major foundation, right? Our ISC major foundation rests on these 4 pillars, if you can consider them, right? So the first one is on the data analytics and decision making. Okay, so this includes the more math type of subjects like probability and stats, machine learning, OR, operations research. Okay. Then other than that, we also want to equip students with the up-to-date development skills, computer modeling tools, skills, in order for them to take advantage of this new and upcoming modeling and development platforms. Okay. Other than these technical skills, right, we also very emphasize on this project management and operations management skills. Okay, including like project management, finance, accounting, quality management, engineering economics, etc. Right. So finally, we also want to groom our graduates to be future leaders of engineering. Right. So we give them broad exposure to system thinking concepts, strategic thinking in broad systems such as supply chain, manufacturing, service systems, etc. Right. So this, in a nutshell, covers the courses and content of our major. Okay. Next, Yuha. Thank you. Right. So we emphasize a lot on like providing our graduates with a future-proof, career-ready curriculum. Okay. So one of the capstone projects is about this system design projects, where in the students in the third and the final year, we will group them and then we will partner them with collaborator companies who scope out some of the very challenging state-of-the-art problems in the industry. Okay, so our collaborators include those that is listed here, but this is not exhaustive or in any priority. Okay, so our students actually work hard in this project to provide innovative solutions to help companies save costs, improve performance, etc. So some of the sample projects posters are also listed here. For example, we improve the logistic operations and planning for the Changi Airport. Okay, we help warehouse operations to become more lean and more able to take advantage of e-commerce, and also help in digitization processes of these different companies and automation. Right. So if you're interested in this type of projects, please scan this QR code and then find out more from our department website about what these students they have been working on. And of course, later Hans will be sharing one of these ongoing system design projects that he's embarking on. Okay, next, please. Yeah, so very quickly, I want to talk about the AOS, or the areas of specialization that ISC offers, right? So we have 2 AOS, and then there's one up and coming, okay, coming soon, okay? So the first one is the supply chain analytics, okay? So supply chain resilience is a topic that has come up over and over again, especially in these few years, okay? So in this one, we let the students deep dive into advanced operations research knowledge, and then also pricing and revenue management, how to do modeling of supply chain and logistic systems, etc. Okay, so aside this modeling and these capabilities, right, we also want them to be able to integrate data and analytics into this modern decision making, right? So the second AOS on the analytics and decision intelligence let the students explore even further for in areas such as machine learning for IE, and these are decision and risk analytics, predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics, etc. And finally, the up and coming one, the sustainability analytics, is very crucial because of the pressures of climate change and the commitment by Singapore to achieve net zero by the year 2050. So we can no longer leave this problem to environmental activists, Greta Thunberg, all these people, right? So this is very important to ISE because it's going to change the way we design systems, the process, the workflows. Everything needs to be very carefully curated because of the emissions accounting, okay? Right? Everybody needs to track their emissions from the bottom up and from the top down, okay? Nobody can run away from this. Okay, so our IC skills actually blend very well in this, right? So students will be exposed to accounting techniques, systems analysis, okay, energy systems modeling and optimization, how do carbon markets actually behave, and what is the mechanisms and models behind it. Okay, so this is about the AOS that let our students go deeper into the area. Right, so next, right, so this is the Be Your Own degree. And I think this is quite general in the sense that all our NUS degrees now, of course, they allow students to customize their so-called their education pathways according to what you want to do. Okay, so of course we have the common curriculum in CTE, and then here we focus on the ISE first major. Then after that, the space, right, is up to you. Okay, so this is just a sample only, right? It doesn't mean that this is the only possible pathways, right? In fact, there is many exponential number of things that you can explore, right? So for example, you can do 2 AOS, supply chain and analytics. So personally, like for myself, I love like supply chain and sustainability. I will do both of them. Okay, if I can do 3, I also do 3. Okay, right? Or you can do a minor in data engineering couple with AOS, or minor in management, or a second major in computer science, etc. Right? So this is you should not be limited by this diagram. Okay, right? So I think that is that my last slide. This Chu-Ha. Okay, so yeah, I think that's what I wanted to share. I'm sure you all do not want to hear this uncle here preaching for too long to you about the ISE. Okay, so without further ado, now we will have this ISE Club EXCO members, okay, Daryl and Suraj, to share with us about the ISE student life.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Daryl, and I'll be the first speaker for the student life sharing. Next slide. Yeah, so I'm from ISE Club, and I'm the Vice President External. So with me here speaking today will be our General Secretary Suraj, and we have Vice President Internal Joel, who is not here as he's attending another meeting. We have our President Ying Ying and our Financial Secretary Jalen for the EXCOs. Yeah. Okay, next slide. Okay, so maybe a brief introduction of what ISE Club is. Okay, next slide. So we are a CD sub-club made up of year 1 to year 2 ISE students, and we plan events and ensure the welfare of the wider ISE cohort. Okay, so a little bit of our club events. So first up, I'll be talking about ISE Day. So ISE Day is an event where we invite like the ISE community to come and interact with our seniors and within the current ISE cohorts, or even with alumni, to learn about experiences in NUS, their internships, or even their work. And then the next event I'll be talking about will be about Career Day. So for Career Day, it's one of the events that I was the planning committee for. And what we do is we invite company representatives to come and share more about what they have to offer, like whether it's job opportunities or even their experiences at work. Okay, then of course the most popular event that we have is welfare. So what welfare do is like, at least for like the past year, we have been giving away like bubble tea. We give away snacks like before your midterms or before your finals, because you all need some motivation before we get stressed out from deadlines and assignments. Yeah. Okay, then we have CIP. So CIP this year we went to East Coast to do a beach cleaning. As you can see, it was quite fun. We got quite a lot of people coming down from the ISE cohort. Yeah, because we love to pay it forward, and we hope that this event can make a difference for our community. Okay, so next up we got Suraj, who will be sharing the last 4 events.
Hello, I'm Suraj. I'm a year 2 student in ISE. So the next event I have is special events. So it's basically anything, basically any event that the club can plan for the ISE cohort to enjoy. So during my time, there was still COVID, and so it was an online games night that we try to plan. So when you are coming in, it's gonna be a physical event. I'm sure y'all can have a lot of fun. So if y'all join ISE Club, you'll be able to take part in this planning as well. So yeah, when y'all join, y'all can consider this as well. Yeah, next slide. Then another event that we plan is just it's a recently concluded event. We just finished this event last Saturday. So it's called Business Analytics Case Competition. We plan it with Micron every year. We hold it annually, and so it's a competition that we organize both for undergrads and pre-U students, so JC, NSFs. So joining ISE, I'm sure you all will get the skills to tackle this event. So we opened this event to all of NUS, and the top 3 teams were all ISE teams for the undergrads. So y'all can see like joining this joining ISC will definitely give you an edge into like case competitions like these and things like that. So next. Another event that we have is like is night cycling. So what we do there is basically after one of the semesters end, we have we literally go night cycling. So it's just a nice way to end off the semester after our finals. Next. So the first event that y'all can look forward to is the freshman orientation camp. So for those here, those freshmen, so I'm sure that you'll be looking forward to this camp. It's called Astralis. So next. Yeah, this is the team that's gonna plan the event. So we have Denzel, who's the project director, and the 3 VPDs, Joey, Jared, and Kaiser. Yeah, this is just a few of the posters that y'all can look out for. Next. Yeah, so as you can see on the screen, there's a lot of things y'all can look forward to, but most importantly, please try to come for this camp, because I feel like in uni, there's not much hand-holding. So when you come here, you get to meet a lot of people, you get to know your seniors, and you'll be able to understand how uni works. So without this, it might be a challenge. So as much as possible, please try to come for the orientation. So I think it's for myself, it was a great experience, and I think y'all should also look forward to this, because y'all will have fun and y'all will learn a lot of things about uni, and it will make your journey a lot easier from at the start. So of course y'all can look forward. Yeah, of course y'all can look forward to the goodie bags and OGLs, and there will be games. Yeah, and also learn a lot about the course itself. Next. Yeah, and these are some social media links. So when the camp signups is out, when you have to sign up by, what is the sign up process, these are all available on these links. So please take a moment to scan these, and y'all can go follow these. Just keep this slide for a few seconds, please. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Suraj and Daryl, for sharing about ISC club activities and life. Right, I'm very envious because it sounds very fun, and I also want to join, but I'm too old. Okay, so hopefully our friends and participants here can join us. Okay, so next, yeah, we move on to the student sharing, the junior student sharing, Raja, right? So he's a first year student in our this program. Raja, okay, take it away.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raja, and today I'll be sharing about my student life as a year 1 ISC student. So I graduated from Victoria Junior College back in 2019. Then I did my NS, then I enrolled last year, 2022. So I'm part of the ISC club, and I also reside on campus at Raffles Hall. Next. So the main question is why ISC? One of the main reasons I chose ISC is because I have an interest in the optimization and the problem-solving aspect. I felt that would be something I would enjoy doing and learning as well. Moreover, it caught my eye and stood out from the rest of the engineering courses as well. Because when you think of the conventional engineering courses, courses like mechanical engineering, civil engineering will come to your mind. But ISC is something different from the other courses. ISC also allows you to learn like skills which are in demand, such as Prof. Adam mentioned just now, like management, data analytics, problem solving, etc. So this allows us to learn a wide range of skills, and we learn them in depth as well. These skills we learn will be flexible across the industries, and we learn how to adjust and adapt our skills according to different industries as well. So another reason which appealed to me was the smaller cohort size compared to the other courses. The ISC cohort is relatively smaller, and this means I can see your classmates and friends quite often around in school, because your lecture and tutorial styles will be quite similar. Next. So what can you expect as a first year student? So once you enter NUS as an IC student, you'll be exposed mostly to the common College of Design and Engineering modules. So during these mods, you will have the opportunity to interact and work with like CD students from non-IC students. There's also like project works and stuff for you to do with like CD students as well. You'll be also taking the ISC core modules, which are the IE 111R and IE 211 in your first year. So my advice for planning your curriculum and you're managing your time, right? I would say like don't leave things for last minute. Yeah. Try to be consistent and do your work and assignment accordingly. So some of you may ask, do I need any prior knowledge before entering ISC? Personally, I would say no, because the modules you take in year one are pretty comprehensive in covering the fundamentals for ISC. So for me, I did not have much experience as well, and I find it quite manageable to learn about the fundamentals. So, but if you want to learn like programming or coding on your own, I'll say go ahead because it will make like your life slightly easier. So, okay, next slide. So outside of academics, I'm in ISC club as well. I'm sure that Daryl and Suraj has said quite a bit about it. So ISC club allowed me to like make easier for me to like find like-minded students in the IIT cohort. I can work with them and like plan events for the rest of the cohort as well. You have the opportunity to lead your own committee and plan your events as well with the guidance from the seniors. So one thing IIC Club allowed me to do is step outside of my comfort zone and learn new skills where you will learn outside of the classroom, such as working with different people, communication skills, and also like leadership skills as well. So if you are planning on joining IIC, I would recommend you to join IIC Club as well. Yep, that's all from me. If you have any question, you can just direct message me. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for the sharing, Raja. Okay. So in fact, this is a very busy time in the semester for students in NUS. So yeah, I'm really thankful for these guys here for taking time, right? In the middle of the midterms and all this. Okay. Right. They are very, very busy. Okay. Don't look like it's all fun and games. They are really very busy. Okay. So anyway, now next we have the the senior student, okay, a final year student, to share with us about his experience in ISE. Okay, so this Ziyi, right? So he's also kind of like really, you know, very passionate in sharing and giving advice to the juniors and helping out in some of these outreach events. Okay, Ziyi, come take it away.
Okay. Hi, Prof. Adam. Okay. So yeah, I'm Ziyi. I'm in my final year. So I matriculated into NUS in 2019 and I'm in ISE, obviously. On top of that, I'm also doing a data engineering minor. So throughout my uni experience, I mean, I think we have, you know, our normal ISE modules, our specializations. But one thing I think in particular is that ISE students are usually exposed to a lot of internships. So they get a lot of industry experience. So I will focus on more of the data-centric internships that I took on, because I think this may sort of help you paint a picture of what ISE is and what an industrial engineer can do. Yeah, next slide. So what is ISE? I think this is the most common question that I've gotten in the last 4 years. Easy answer is you can ask ChatGPT. It gives you a very comprehensive, and I would say it covers most of what an IE does. But if you read into it, you can see that it's very versatile, and it seems like there's a lot of potential for industrial engineers to work in many different fields. So I hope that my sharing will at least give you a clearer picture of precisely where the skill set of an IE, how a skill set of an IE is applied in industry. Yeah. So next. So yeah, a bit of a reflection of my last 4 years. I'm in my final semester already. So at this point, it's really just waiting to graduate. But you know, when I started in year 1 and year 2, it's very similar to Raja. I was having a lot of fun exploring the many different things that ISE Club has to offer and NUS has to offer also. It was only in year 2 where I started to look at, you know, internships, started to take on or perhaps like think about my career. And I think ISE really gave me the exposure to essentially try out a lot of different industries. But if we break it down into 4 years, we can just see that your curriculum is there to sort of support you for to set you up for success in year 4. You start with your fundamentals, then you go on to more industrial engineering specific content. But in year 3, you start to realize, where your interest lies. So don't be too worried if you're not sure what exactly you're interested in, because it takes time, right? So in year 3 and year 4, you know where you are in, what you're interested in. Usually you go on exchange. Mine was cancelled, unfortunately, so I went to do more internships. And then in year 4, it's really about your final year project, your SDP, which Hans will share later, and also a bit of your job hunt. One fun fact is that actually IEs for us, a lot of us are actually got a couple of offers already on the table. So it's sort of like very comfortable phase of waiting to graduate and waiting to start work. So I would say don't worry too much about your future career. The time will come when you need to worry about it. So yeah, just take your time to explore. Next. Okay, so I'll talk about the first internship. So I did this in year 2. It was a data science internship in a manufacturing MNC. So data science is basically talking about how you leverage data to make certain business decisions, right? What that entails is, for example, data visualization. When we talk about the machine's production output, we need to monitor it. And when we monitor it, we also need to sort of add in these detection features to alert technicians when a machine goes down, or when we see that the machine is perhaps not performing up to the standard that we want. From there, we can monitor how well each machine performs, right? We can start to do production planning, or in ISE terms, it's called job scheduling. So this means that you know what machines can produce sort of what products, and then you schedule jobs for each machine to say that, if I sequence jobs in this manner, I can hit my target output, and on top of that, I can do it in the shortest time possible. So that's a very typical and classical industrial engineering problem. Then on top of that, there's the data analytics part of the job, where I also did a project on expenditure forecasting. So this is looking at the types of capital expenditure projects that the firm is sort of investing in, and trying to forecast and predict how much it will cost. So this is just sort of one way that you can apply your data analytics skills in the industry. Next. Okay, so after that internship, I went on to another one in a semicon. So this is Infineon, it's close partner with ISE. Yeah, and so I was doing a supply chain role. So the question here is, how do we employ digital solutions in supply chain processes? You'll be surprised that, things when things flow through the supply chain, it's very manual, in a sense that, things are not very well automated. Sometimes it's really like emailing invoices left and right, something as simple as that. So how do we sort of digitalize and automate certain aspects of this supply chain? One thing is order lead time. So order lead time is basically looking at how much time do I need when a customer places an order and when I deliver the product to the customer. How do we predict this window? If we can predict this window accurately, we can start to plan and sequence which orders do I need to start working on first. So this is a very big picture problem that we look at when we don't just look at, typical engineering. You might think you look at how to make maybe individual parts, but we're looking at how to make thousands and thousands of parts in a supply chain, and how to ship it to the customer in the fastest way possible. Another project that I worked on was this change management resource allocation. So what change management is essentially, if you think about it, when a company comes up with a new product, there needs to be some form of change that occurs. The production line needs to add new machines. Your shipping needs to have new, logistic suppliers. So the change itself is a project, and that requires, someone to oversee the project, someone to manage it, and it requires a certain level of man hours. So one thing we need to do is, as industrial engineers, is we need to have a way to predict how much effort it takes to make this change. And now that we can predict how much effort, who do we allocate to this project to sort of take on the project so that it will be completed in a required time? Yeah, so this is another application of ISE that, you may not have realized that we even do things like human resource management. Yeah. Next. Okay, so when I was in year 3, Shopee was still, on its hiring craze. So I did a short stint there as a product manager in the supply chain. So when I talk about Shopee supply chain, one thing is they do this business model called consignment. So what consignment is that a seller ships its products to be stored in Shopee's warehouses. So Shopee will help them store the inventory, and Shopee will help them do fulfillment. Fulfillment meaning that, you know, I take the product from my warehouse and I send it to the customer. So this business model requires certain pricing algorithms, right? It's not free. Inventory is not free. Inventory is expensive to store. And on top of that, the services to fulfill a delivery is also chargeable to the seller and also to the customer. So how do we price this? And how do we create these algorithms to charge both sellers and customers for this fulfillment service? It is a bit of a deviation from maybe like your typical data analytics sort of roles. But the key thing is that, you know, in ISE, you are exposed to this kind of supply chain concept, that the idea that, you know, storing things, there's inventory in certain parts of your supply chain that come at a cost. I think these are sort of big picture ideas that ISE will expose you to. Yeah, next. Okay, so this was my most recent role. So I was a summer analyst doing banking operations. So the question here is, you know, in banking ops, you have a lot of data into the transactions that are happening and also sort of the interactions that the bank has with its clients. So how do we sort of improve the client experience when it comes to, you know, doing business with new clients? How do we improve the experience overall? What are the pain points that clients are experiencing? When you have, you know, thousands and thousands of interactions, it is not feasible to read through thousands and thousands of emails to try and get an idea, right? Eventually you will fall asleep, or eventually you'll come up with something may have a stronger impression on you than like, might leave a stronger impression that is perhaps not as objective. So one way to approach this problem is to use natural language processing, NLP, and do sentiment analysis and topic modeling. So what this does is we are able to process huge amounts of text to objectively sieve out what are the topics that people are talking about. And on top of that, what is the sentiment? Sentiment being like, is it a positive experience or is it a very negative experience? So when we take this sort of data-centric approach towards analyzing client experience, you can start to make very objective decisions on where do I need to invest more time into my banking operations to make the overall process smoother. So this, you will employ a lot of sort of data wrangling and data automation skills, which the ISE curriculum will expose you to. Next. Okay, so maybe there was a lot of information, so we can sort of consolidate it into this knowledge stack lah. What I would say is that, you know, like I said, year 1, year 2 is all about your fundamentals and perhaps your ISE major curriculum. It gives you sort of basic mathematics and statistics knowledge to approach the more advanced topics later on. So year 1, year 2, you're exposed to operations research, some computing, and I think these are the skills and the tools that will really help you lah in year 3 and year 4. Year 3 and year 4, it's all about, I would say, finding out what types of roles or where you would like to develop yourself in, right? So for me, it was data engineering and analytics. So the mods that I picked from the ISE curriculum were all sort of data analytics centric. But there's also a lot of other things that ISE offers. Like Prof. Adam said, there's decision intelligence, supply chain, sustainability, there's even project management, and the hot one is, you know, simulation with digital twinning. Don't worry if you have no idea what these things are, because your ISE major in year 2 will give you sort of a taste of these individual specializations. And then in year 3, year 4, you also do your SDP, FYP for that real world applications. So I would say, like, you know, ISE, we have that is very versatile. You can apply it to many industries. But if you just perhaps try to sum it up in one phrase, I would say that ISE's an industrial engineer's sort of use case is to help make objective business decisions for incredibly complex systems based on whatever data is available. So this is a very engineering role in that sense, because everything is based on data, everything is based on equations, math is very objective. There is no there is the gray area itself, you know, can be quantified. So it's not it is technical and meticulous in nature lah. I did not talk about the specific modules because, you know, the module is always evolving. So, you know, my experience for each module may not be relevant to the next batch and when you come and join ISE. So the best way I would say to learn more, right, is to talk to your seniors. So just the batch above you, because, you know, we keep all our course material so we can share it with the next batch and we can show you exactly what we learned and what the, you know, even things like how the exam was, how the midterm was. These are all insights that will really benefit you when you come and join ISE. So as much as possible, you know, just reach out. Don't worry, I don't think any of us here will bite. And we will be pretty, I would say pretty happy to give you a sort of a clear picture of what you can expect lah. So yeah, all the best. If you don't join ISE, I think it's fine too. You know, at the end of the day, you should try to pursue what you are passionate about. And if your passion doesn't lie here, you know, I think take some time to figure that out. But ISE is a good place to start, I would say. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Zi, for the very detailed sharing. It's very informative. I'm sure the participants here, and also including some of our junior students here, benefit from learning from your this experience and all these attractive internship opportunities. Okay, so I better move on now to the next speaker. We have this Hans, who is also a final year student in our this program, ISE program. And then in fact, Hans, he was something I mentioned, right? So he was recently awarded this Schwarzman scholarship, okay? So to do this master's in Tsinghua University after he's done here, okay? So just to let you know, the whole of the NUS community, all the NUS students, there was only one student that was awarded this Schwarzman Award, and that's Hans. So very happy that he's here today to share about his SDP. Okay, Hans, please.
All right, thank you so much, Adam, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Hans. I'm final year. And yeah, as the others have mentioned, I think one thing that is always being emphasized by ISE is the practicality and the relationship between technical and concepts with the real life approach. And this is even more emphasized during our final year. Usually like we will have this system design project for year 3 or year 4 students, whereby we could kind of like understand how to apply what we learn in school to real life like situations. And we are partnering with like companies usually. So the company that I'm currently my team is currently partnering with is with Abbott. Yeah, next. So yeah, these are like the things that I would try to like discuss here. But again, just like what Jai said, feel free to reach out whenever you want regarding about like what it is that we do in SDP. Next. Yeah. First of all, like for context, if you guys didn't know what Abbott is, basically Abbott is a multinational company in nutrition, pharmaceuticals. I think maybe the most common or like the most well-known products that they have is usually like Ensure, the milk product. So it's one of the products that are more commonly consumed by people. But they also have like a lot of like different let's say medical devices, diagnostic tools that we might not be even aware of. But in this case, like in our SDP project, we are trying to consult them on how to improve or improve their efficiency and optimize their production capability, basically. So next, yeah, so these are like the Abbott products usually that we could see wherever in like supermarkets. Then there are like several Abbott nutrition plans. The ones that we are currently trying to optimize are actually not in Singapore, it's the one in Netherlands. So we are trying to understand, as I go through the project, you get to understand that there is a complex situation here and a complex problem that we try to like solve by solving it chunk by chunk. in a sense. Next. Yeah, so for context, right, in Abbott, like in terms of their production capacity, there are certain certain machines that they need to go through, and during production there might be time when they need to like clean the machines so that it is sanitized from the next batch of like products that they are going to produce. For example, let's say we are producing chocolate milk, then afterwards we want to produce vanilla milk. So not to cross-contaminate both of these flavors, we need to be able to like do a changeover, a maintenance, in which this maintenance is usually quantified by changeover time. So changeover time is the time required to do this maintenance. Next. Yeah, these are like just some example of like, yeah. So we are focusing on the finished product itself. And the goal is to optimize based on the forecasted demand data for 2026 and make sure that the FP change over time is done most effectively. Next. Yeah, these are like some solution requirements. So before we try to like understand how we can solve it, we also need to understand what are the how to measure our success, right? How to measure if our solutions actually solve the problem. So these are like some of the examples of what we focus on to measure during our project. Next. Yeah, so some of our proposed solutions, first of all, is to try to understand the current process. So for example, right, like to optimize the scheduling system, to optimize the production, we need to optimize the scheduling system. To optimize the scheduling system, we need to try different combinations of flavors. So for example, let's say chocolate, vanilla, strawberry chocolate. Which one actually give us the least change over time? However, this process is very manual and it actually requires the engineers right now to kind of like put it manually and try to calculate them manually. So our first approach is to actually make sure that we can make an efficient process in trying to experiment different scheduling system. So in a sense, we have not touched yet on like how to schedule them effectively, but we are making the experimentation to schedule it effectively to be more effective. So, you know, it's going a step back to understand like what are the problems and the pain points. So yeah, next. So next, we also try to understand like the underlying mechanism of the process, like which ones actually require more change over time, which one, besides change over time, are there any other metrics that we could try to tweak so that we can try to optimize the production capacity. Of course, these are like based on one algorithmic, which is usually meta-heuristic, it's general and all that. But we also try to understand heuristic part, which is trying to understand this specific problem. Let's say we have an assumption, let's say if we go from chocolate to vanilla, it would be harder because vanilla is less flavory compared to chocolate. So we could do vanilla first, then chocolate. So in a sense, it makes sense for the production capacity to be faster in that way. So yeah, those kind of stuff is more on the heuristic approach. Next. Yeah, so we try to do some simulation and simulate different outputs. Next. Yeah, so our implementation progress, the exciting part of talking here and presenting here is that this is not a completed project. Actually, this is an ongoing project that we have been doing since the start of last semester until now. So it will end in a couple of months. But then our milestone is currently in our milestone 3. So we completed milestone 1 and milestone 2 already. Next. Yeah, whereby the milestone 1 is trying to like do some Excel sheet and VBA for balancing wheel preparation, automating the stuff. Next. Yeah, so we can see like these are like the product grouping afterwards that we could experiment. Next. Yeah, so these are just like some screenshots of like the scheduling system that we produce eventually. Next. Then here, let's say, right, like we are trying to understand like how many frequency, and we are trying to like balance and all that to make sure that they are, let's say if like certain flavors are more highly demanded, so we try to like spread them out across 1 year. So we don't want it to be like 6 months production and then 6 months of no production. We try to make sure that we could split it equally. Next. Yeah. Next. Okay, so yeah, these are like just balancing some technical stuff. Next. Yeah, but as you can see, right, so we can see like for milestone 2, yeah, so now after we understand like the list of products and the scheduling, then we try to make sure that we can group them effectively and like try to run the time again to understand like how much time needed. But yeah, like as we go through this, like at the end of the day, all of these are very very granular and very specific to our project, and your team might have a very different project. We have like I have friends from ISE as well who are doing a completely different like methods and the different problems, and that's the thing about ISE, you know, like our thinking is not only breadth but also the depth of it is tested in here. So next. Next. Yeah, so come to the last section. So it's just like some project timeline, right? Like we try to understand like how we can try to complete different milestones in different and set correct expectations with like the clients. And this is also something about ISE. I think ISE is not only like the technicality of it, but also the soft skills. ISE teaches us to be able to consult people and to understand how to manage stakeholders. Next. Yeah, these are like some of the project timelines. Next. Yeah, so these are the 2 main things that we finally have been able to like produce and deliver to the client, to Abbott. One of the things is the improving the system process. As I explained, it's trying to improve system, improve the experimentations and all that. Then lastly is now we are trying to maximize the plant capacity by itself. So trying to understand which is the scheduling system that is most optimal. So yeah, that's all. Thank you so much, Adam, for the time, and thank you everyone. Let me know if you have any questions. Reach me out in LinkedIn and all that.
Thank you very much, Hans, for sharing about your this ongoing system design project. And I hope you all can see the very important blend of a lot of these skills that they learn in the classroom being applied to this industrial problem, which is never so straightforward. It's always kind of messy. So you really need to get the hands dirty to really learn something out of it. Okay, thank you, Hans. We're running a little bit behind schedule, but we do have one more student to share with us a project on the ISM. Okay, so I do hope that you bear with us a little bit because we have so much to share, but so little time, right? Okay, so the last one we have is Cindy. Okay, so Cindy, she did this ISM, this 1 semester kind of like a research project. And this project is kind of related, right, to the sustainability theme that just now I was referring to. Okay, so Cindy.
Okay, I think I'll share my screen.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, give me a moment. All right. Okay. So yeah, hi everyone. I'm Cindy. I'm currently in my final year as well in ISE. And today I'll share a bit more about my project for the independent study module, ISM, which I did in the last semester. Okay, so before talking about my project, I'll briefly talk about the module itself. So it is coded IE4102, which is a 1 semester long module offered at a stage 4, which means in year 4 for ISE students, with the aim to promote self-study, critical thinking, and independent research abilities. And the project can be anything relevant to ISE. It can be inspired from the previous modules you take, or even day-to-day active observations which you want to study more or which you want to improve more. And generally, the topics and projects aim to improve efficiency, productivity, and profitability across a wide range of industries, as we have heard earlier, including but not limited to manufacturing, healthcare, transportation, as well as logistics. And this proposed topic must be approved by the department coordinator, and we are supposed to find an ISE Prof supervisor who is willing to oversee the projects and obtain their approval before submitting the proposal for further consideration. So for my project, I chose to study the e-waste vehicle routing problem in Singapore context, which was inspired from one of the core modules offered by ISE, which is Operation Research, and my interest in the idea of sustainability. And I'm very grateful to be supervised by Prof. Ng, which was my operation research lecturer and an expert in this field himself. So a bit more about my project. So you may ask, why e-waste? I think e-waste has become a significant issue for many countries in the recent years, including Singapore. And for Singapore, it generates 60,000 tons of e-waste each year. And with the increasing disposable income among the household, increasing use of electronic devices as a result of technological and economic development, improper disposal of e-waste can cause environmental and health hazards to humans. And one of the most effective ways to manage this is by optimizing the collection and the transportation process. So in Singapore, the National Environmental Agency, or NEA, has introduced a regulated e-waste management system that will ensure proper collection and handling of e-waste and the extraction of valuable materials from the e-waste itself. And NEA has appointed ELBA to support the effort of the e-waste management in Singapore. ELBA e-waste is a company that specializes in the proper disposal and recycling of electronic e-waste to help, which provides a range of services to help individuals as well as business to properly dispose their e-waste in an environmentally friendly manner. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that we have seen some of these bins either around our neighborhoods, our schools, or supermarkets. For my project, I chose to focus on the collection of e-waste from 3-in-1 stationary bins, which can be found across the island. So for my project itself, I divided it into 4 different phases. So in the first phase, comprehensive literature review is done to understand the current situation and the challenges of e-waste management in Singapore. Also explore various studies on vehicle routing problems and develop a theoretical foundation for the project. In the second phase, mathematical model is developed based on a capacitated vehicle routing problem, which allowed me to determine the optimal routes for the set of vehicles to collect and transport e-waste. The model also considered multiple constraints, such as the capacity of the vehicles, as well as the demand at each bin. In the third phase, I implemented the math model using the case study of Singapore into Python and solved it using Gurobi optimization. I collected the data on the collocation of e-waste 3-in-1 stationary bins and the disposal facility. Using this data, we simulated the e-waste collection system and its transportation processes. Finally, in the fourth phase, I presented the results of the implementation process. The results together are useful and can be proposed to ELBA e-waste as a helping tool for the company to plan and schedule their resources and manpower in a more efficient and cost-saving manner. As explained before, ISM enables us to work with real-life data for our project. In my case, I utilized the data from Google Maps latitude and longitude as my input data for bins location across the island. So after doing literature review of exploring different ways to optimize the e-waste collection system, I chose the heuristic approach of cluster first, route second, CFRS in short for my methodology. The CFRS approach includes clustering the e-waste bins into clusters and then conducting the capacitated vehicle routing problem for the respective clusters. So next is a bit of illustration of how is it done. Oops, too fast. Okay, so given a set of vehicles with capacity Q denoted by the letter V, we have also the different e-waste bins denoted by B, a graph which denoted by G, V, comma B is generated where all the e-waste bins and depot are represented by nodes on the graph. The depot is represented by node 0, you can see in the graph, and it is also given that ij denotes the node indices or the location of each e-waste bin, and mi denotes the demand of e-waste to be collected at node I. Dij denotes the distance between the node I and j, and dii denotes by m, where m is a sufficiently large number. So I'll now demonstrate a quick example of the vehicle routing problem. So for example, the truck starts from the depot empty and it goes to node 1 to collect 1 unit of demand. Then after that, it proceeds to node 5 to collect 2 units of demand. And then it will go to node 2 to collect 1 unit of demand, and node 10, yeah, to collect 2 units of demand, then goes to node 9 to collect 1 unit of demand before finally going back to the depot. So the aim of CVRP is to optimize the vehicle routing routes such that the distance traveled by the truck is the shortest, and in this way it is more cost effective. The CVRP is a mixed integer programming problem with the following decision: Xij if, for example, the vehicle travels from node I to j and 0 otherwise, and the yj denotes the cumulative demand at node j. So here is the sample result of the algorithm that I run. For example, in cluster 0, there are 38 nodes, and the CVRP is run for a number of vehicles, which V equals to 3, 4, and 5 vehicles. And it is implied that the number of vehicles, V equals to 3, yield the best objective function, which is 0.795. So we can see on the right side is the graph plotted on the shortest distance that needs to be traveled by the vehicle in order to collect the demands at each node. Finally, the project has many potential benefits for Singapore, and by optimizing the collection and the transportation process of the e-waste, we can minimize the environmental impact and the health hazards associated with improper disposal of e-waste. We can also reduce the carbon footprint and contribute to the overall sustainability of Singapore. The method is also practical for a real-life scenario with a dynamic change in the daily demand. And I also hope that the project can inspire the future work in this area and encourage the adoption of sustainable practices in the waste management. Yeah, that's all from me, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Cindy, for sharing about this ISM project, which is very meaningful. Okay, so I think yeah, we have come to the end of the main agenda for this virtual event, right? So Chu Ha, maybe you can just flash our this department website information. Okay, so I do apologize that we kind of like exceeded the 3 p.m. by a few minutes, right? But yeah, we do have several information to share with you guys. So right, I hope you all actually find out a little bit more about our this program today. But always visit our website, which has a lot more comprehensive details about curriculum, the AOS, and the projects, etc. And then if you have any questions, further clarifications, please reach out to the following email that's listed on the screen. Okay, don't hesitate to ask anything. Okay, so I really hope that to see at least some of you guys join our this ISM family very soon. Okay, in the coming summer this semester. Right, so we have come to the close of this event, but we'll just kind of hang out here for just a few minutes more. Okay, in case like if any of you still have some questions and all that, we can try to kind of respond to you. Right, so if not, then thank you very much sacrifice your precious time to join us this afternoon for the event. Okay, and also thank our students, IC Club, okay, for taking their precious time. Hope you are not skipping any classes, okay, and to share with us. Okay, right. Thank you. See you soon.